Over 4 months ago, I held the Great ARBS race to find out which unit was the fastest in the game. But since then, there have been many new additions to the game, as well as updates, remasters and remodels of certain units. So today, I'm going to be finding out which unit is currently the fastest in the game, because obviously there will always be new additions to the game, which could possibly dethrone the winner. So it's going to be a pretty similar to the last ARBS race I did, which was, well, 4 months ago on my second channel. If you haven't seen that, I'll probably put a link in the description if I remember. I've built an even larger racetrack. I don't even think I built one before. I kind of just put them there. And it isn't, like, obviously I haven't put much effort into this, but it's only a racetrack. It doesn't need to be anything special. I've put a load of caracols at the end with the finish line here. First unit to get there obviously wins, and I'm going to be doing it a faction at a time, getting the winner from each faction and then putting them all against each other at the end in like a grand final to see who is the fastest. So yeah, let's start off with the first faction. The first faction we're going to be trying out today is the fantasy faction. The Wyvern is definitely the favourite for this race because it is known to be just as fast as the Parasaurolophus, which was before the fastest unit in the game before he was added. So yeah, let's see how things go. Another unit might be able to pull it off, but I'm expecting the Wyvern to win. So yeah, let's go. Right, as expected, the Wyvern gets to an early lead and is basically just left everybody else in the dust. He's got an incredible speed here. Everybody else very, very slow. He's actually going to get there before I can get there. So, right, and he's crossed the finish line. Unsurprisingly, has won. And the rest of them aren't even within him. He's just going to kill all these caracols, probably before even they will get there, to be fair. So, yeah, let's go on to the next race. Next up, we have the Reptile faction, famous for being slow. But the Pteranodon has been added last update, and I don't know how fast it truly is. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Oh my god, Pteranodon off like an absolute rocket here. He's almost as fast as the camera. Look at him go. All the rest of them just slithering and crawling along the floor. Aren't going to get him far. The Pteranodon's definitely absolutely tearing these guys up. And he has won, unsurprisingly, considering he's competing against crocodiles and snakes. So yeah, let's go on to the next race. Next up, we have the Infernals, the newest faction to the game. There's only 3 of them, but we have to find which one's fastest. I'm not really sure, but I'd imagine it's this big guy here with his massive legs, but you never know. Something like the Skeleton Warrior may take me by surprise. Let's go. Right, seems pretty even off the start, but the Skeleton Warrior is starting to make a convincing lead here. He's overtaken whatever this guy's called. I forgot. I can't remember anything's names around here. In this game. I'm just waffling at this point. The Skeleton Warrior is making the gap even bigger. It looks like nothing is really going to be able to overtake him here, unless somehow these guys like send it into full maximum overdrive and just absolutely annihilate him, or he somehow crumbles into tiny little pieces. And the Skeleton Warrior has won. He's first one to the finish line, and well, unsurprisingly really, considering he had a great lead to start. Next up, we have the Ancient Humans. Everybody probably thinks that the Hussar is going to win, probably because he's on a horse, but there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Seems pretty even off the start, as most races are, but the Hussar has absolutely annihilated everybody here. The Knight is making an alright kind of comeback, but no, he's nowhere near him really. These lot, unfortunately, they only have 2 legs, and they're tiny little people when he's got riding a horse. Yep, looks like the Hussar's got this in the bag, and he has. The Hussar will be moving on to the next round. Now moving on to the Modern Humans. Unfortunately, I won't be able to control the FPS avatar here because I won't be able to tell who wins else. So yeah, let's start the race. In 3, 2, 1, go. All the humans, incredibly slow. These 2 haven't even bothered starting yet. Bit lazy. We've got Suicide Sue, who's definitely made a convincing lead here, with Angry Joe and Commando Bo following quite close. Oh! Suicide Sue's made a bit of a slip up, and Angry Joe's just managed to... He's literally neck and neck. Oh, Suicide Sue's managed to pull it back, but she's tripping over her... appears to be flip-flops. Probably not the best thing to be wearing in a race. But the rest of these guys, they're miles behind. It's really only between these 3. Commando Bo, he might not even be in it, to be honest. It's basically between Angry Joe and Suicide Sue. She doesn't want to mess up again by tripping over, otherwise Angry Joe's got this. but I think Suicide Sue might have this one in the bag. Oh, there's still quite a long way left. I've definitely made this racetrack, and maybe a little bit too long for these incredibly slow units. Suicide Sue does have the little leap before attack, so there we go. Suicide Sue has won, and she'll be moving on to the next round. Now on to the Mutant primates. I don't think much has happened to this faction since my last video I did on the race, or it might have just been before their major update, I'm not sure. But let's see who's the fastest. In 3, 2, 1, go. Right, we've got the Wolverilla up front, closely followed by King Kong. The rest of these guys all kind of relatively the same speed, apart from there are a few outliers like the Projectile Gorilla, who is barely even got off the line. The Wolverilla is definitely starting to make a bit of a gap between him and King Kong. We've got Goro the Giant not that far behind. I always remember the Berserker Gorilla being quite quick out of all the Mutant primates. I don't know if they've slowed him down in the last update, or he might just got unlucky here. But it looks like the Wolverilla is going to get the win here, unless something major happens to him. And he does get the win, crossing the line first. And yeah, he'll be moving on to the next round. Now on to the modern mammals. Although they're not a very strong faction, they are very well known for being incredibly fast. So this race could be incredibly close. Let's see. Right, we've got all of these guys off to a good start. It appears the more expensive units aren't really very fast. Oh, the wild boar is taking quite a convincing lead here. The rhino looks to be gaining on him slightly, but I'm not sure if there's enough space, or there is still quite a bit of the track left. The rhino does appear to be slowly gaining on him, but it looks like the warthog, the wild boar, has definitely got enough of a head start and has won, and the rhino breaks his neck. Now moving on to the giant invertebrates. They do share the same weakness as the modern mammals, but they're not exactly known for being fast, although they have at least like 6 legs apart from, well, the blade worm. But let's see who wins. In 3, 2, 1, go. Right, it appears the giant ant has got off to a great start here. Absolutely annihilating these guys, although he's probably only going about as fast as every other unit, but it's just these guys are incredibly slow. The ant is actually surprisingly quick compared to these guys. The blade worm, unsurprisingly, is miles behind, but it doesn't look like anything could really stop this giant ant now. He's made an incredibly long gap between the rest of them, and it looks like he's going to win. It's all down to whether he can cross the line, and he does. And he'll be moving on to the next round. Now moving on to the herbivore dinosaurs, which has the Parasaurolophus, the previous, well, and still current, fastest unit in the game. Things may change after this video, but let's see. And the Brachiosaurus, the start line doesn't very much accommodate him, but he'll be alright. I don't think he's going to be going very fast anyway. 3, 2, 1, go. All of the dinosaurs off to a good start. Oh, Therizinosaurus is actually keeping up with the Parasaurolophus, sort of. Not really. Parasaurolophus, being the absolute beast he is, has absolutely destroyed everyone. It's incredible how he can be so fast and the rest of them are so slow. And the Parasaurolophus crosses the line and beats everyone with ease. Now moving on to the Carnival dinosaurs. Not much has really changed with the faction apart from a few remodels and remasters here and there. But let's see who's the fastest. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, we have the Spinosaurus using its incredibly long legs to get himself a bit of a head start here. Or it seems to be even between Spinosaurus, Allosaurus, Deinonychus and Velociraptor. But Deinonychus is making a bit of a convincing lead here. Allosaurus not that far behind. Same with the Velociraptor. Spinosaurus, although he got off to a good start, his incredibly high weight, I don't know how to say it, has definitely slowed him down. And the Deinonychus has got himself the win. Although that was a very close race with quite a lot of fast dinosaurs. And unsurprisingly, the Cryolophosaurus has done terribly. Now on to the final faction of the day. It is the Weaponized Beast. I've had to split them up a bit because the explosive wild boar does have a tendency to blow himself up from time to time. But yeah, let's see who's the fastest. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, I don't think the Rocket Ellie is going to have much of a chance here. It's definitely between these two. But still, the explosive wild boar has definitely gave all of them for a run for their money. And has literally decimated them all. I'm surprised whatever this guy's called, the weaponized rhino, I forgot what he's called, didn't keep up with them, because the rhino from the modern mammals did actually quite well against the wild boar, but the wild boar has won the race and will be moving on to the final. Now onto the final. Every unit that won in their faction's race has moved on to this round. This will decide which is the fastest unit in the game. The definite favourites for this race are the Parasaurolophus, being the current champion, same with the Wyvern and probably the Pteranodon as well. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Oh, the Pteranodon has taken an incredible lead here. Oh, the Wyvern has also overtaken the Parasaurolophus, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be able to catch up. The Pteranodon is miles ahead. He's about to dive straight down, and he has done it for the win. The Parasaurolophus has been dethroned from fastest unit in the game, and we got our new champion, the Pteranodon. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.